want to give you some trigger warnings before we begin. That's a life. Yeah, the life. Domestic violence, death, child loss, sexual assault. Anytime you're uncomfortable, you feel the need to walk away, we completely understand. But I promise you there's laughter as well. So we're so happy to have you here. I'm not sure if you all know, this is a very special production. This is a premiere production of a 3-woman version of Fireball. Fireball is originally a memoir by Hazel Lindsay and Julia Walker. And Julia Walker is here tonight. She just happens to be my mama. Works out so nicely. And she actually has copies of Fireball with her tonight if you would like to purchase any. They're $15 and half of the proceeds will come back to Bluegrass Community Theater to help with these. So she will be here after the show selling her books. And let me tell you, there are a lot more stories in that book than you will be hearing tonight because Fireball was a fireball. So thank you so much for being here. The process is we went from a memoir to a one-woman show written by Norman Macmillan, who happens to be my mom's brother, who happens to be my uncle, who is also here tonight. So, he's presently in the middle of a one-woman production. He's directing a one-woman production in Alabama right now. So it's lots of Fireball happening all at one time, so it's really exciting. So we're just so happy you're here. One special guest I'd like to mention is that you will hear our Fireball Hazel and Miss Lindsay mention Jason, her grandson, and Jason is here with us tonight. He brought a few personal items with him tonight, and we added them to the set. So if you see my actors looking at something like, why is that here? That's why. So we just surprised them, but we're so thrilled to have you and all of you here tonight. It is such a special piece of theater, and I hope you enjoy. Gentlemen, be forewarned. Hazel likes men. So just a little heads up if you happen to be of the male persuasion. We are recording the show tonight, so you know, phones away, chatter from the minute. We do have an intermission, we'll have a 2-minute intermission, and thank you all so much for being here tonight. We hope you enjoy Fireball.
When I was born, she's the midwife, and she said I come out kicking and fighting so much, she barely kept a hold of me. Some people, they still call me Fireball. I bet a lot of you think all this stuff up here is just junk. And that's fine by me, because I made me a good living selling junk. 10 years on Highway 68. But it's sad to have to tell you this, but I done sold my business. Yep, I'll be heading out here first thing in the morning. What you see here is all I got left. All of it, full of memories. Some of them good. And well, old. I'm 83. But some people, they don't think I look like it. I see you looking at me. I see you too. No, the real reason I'm having to sell my business is because I got a daughter up in Oak Ridge, and her name's Naomi. She's been real sick. In and out of the hospital, so I bought me a little place right beside her, and I'm gonna be there to help out whenever I can. So, my life's about to change again. Yep. But that don't bother me much. My life's been so full of change, I just got used to it. You know, when I think back about my childhood, I reckon I never really even had one. I never had me no doll like this to play with. You know, I grew up in a house crammed full of people. My mama, my no good daddy, 6 sisters and my 3 brothers. That don't even count all the babies my mama lost. You know, as hard as her life was with that son of a bitch she was married to, she just kept on having babies with him. Every time he come home, he either beat her or got her pregnant. Picture of my mommy? I did, I called her mommy. She was the sweetest thing that ever lived. Here, look at her. Is she pretty? You see there? She was so pretty. I'll tell you, if my mommy was the sweetest, well, my daddy, he was the meanest. Yeah. I'm sure I got a picture of him around here somewhere. But I'm sure I could put that on display. Hey, don't get me wrong though, I love men. I married me 11 of them. I mean, when I were no more than 7-year-old, me and mommy went to
Now, wait
Decatur. And
just 1 second. I believe if we're going to be talking about our younger years, I might as well chime in.
well, hello, Fireball.
Hey, Ms. Lindsay.
You are me. You call us Hazel.
I know how to respect my elders. Ms. Lindsay. I'll take over for a second.
Now you wait a second. If you get to be part of the story, so do I.
Good Lord, Omi's here.
Evening, Miss Lindsay. Fireball.
Hey, Hazel.
Well, like I was saying when I worked no more than 7.
Excuse me? I was telling this part of the story.
By all means.
Now, when I weren't no more than 7-year-old, me and Mommy was in Decatur, and I seen this old hard ankle sitting in front of the Meigs County Courthouse. I didn't care for his looks. You ain't gonna believe this, but I walked right up to him and said,
You son of a bitch.
What woman have you aggravated today?
I don't know who was more shocked, the man or Mommy.
I reckon by the age of 7, I've already learned. Most men weren't good for nothing but to aggravate women.
I hated my daddy with a passion.
I did. He used to threaten to burn the house down.
He'd say, T, he called my mama T. I'm gonna burn this house down with you and all these rats in it.
We all know who Rats was.
Me.
It's about that time that I decided that someday I was probably going to have to kill that son of a bitch.
One night, I was laying in bed with Mom when I said straight up with me. I could hear my daddy's old rattle-trap truck bouncing out the washed-out trail to our house. I jumped up and shook Mommy home. She was a deep sleeper, especially after working all day and cutting timber. Hurry, Mommy, you gotta get up. I hear Daddy's truck. Get out the back door, fast. I know he'd beat her if she didn't run. Here's your shoes. I'll get your coat. I told her to go hide in my sister's house. She wouldn't do it. Well, hide in the woods close enough for them to hear you holler. As I pushed her out the back door, she said, "Fireball, I love you." "I love you too, Mommy." Then I slammed the back door shut, and I run back to the bed that me and my 3 sisters slept in, and I jumped in. Weren't long before we hear Daddy come, and he was hollering real loud.
T, you good for nothing bitch. You get your sorry ass in here and fix me some supper. We heard him walk to their room. What the hell? He yelled. Then he stomped to our room. He come in, he said, "Where's that bitch? She in here?" We all said, "I don't know." We all thought she was in her bed. Then he come and grabbed me by the arm real hard. He said, "Hazel, I know you know where she's at."
"No, sir, I got no idea." Mommy taught me to always tell the truth, but I figured I weren't telling a lie because I didn't know exactly what bush she was hiding behind. "Do you want me to build you a fire in the stove and heat you up some peas and cornbread?" I'd do anything to get his mind off going after Mom.
He said, "No, I'm so disgusted I done lost my appetite. I'm just gonna sit right here in my chair until she come back."
We all relaxed
A little.
and laid flat back down in bed. I was worried about Mommy being out there by herself. I must have drifted off, because I woke up to the sound of Daddy slamming the front door shut. I waited to hear his old truck motor turn over, and I jumped up to go get Mom. I figured Daddy wouldn't be coming back no time soon.
But the truth was, we never know where he was going or when he was coming back. We just hoped it'd be a long time. Things like I just told you happened many times.
Many times.
Sometimes they turned out worse, though.
Back in the 30s and 40s, men could get away with just about anything in the hellhole hollers in East Tennessee where I grew up.
Neighbors didn't interfere in a family's business, and the law didn't either.
I knowed I had to figure out what to do about our situation.
Somebody had to.
Daddy's brother, Uncle Hal, knew what was going on. And he gave me my first gun.
38 revolver.
I ain't been without a gun close to me since.
And I've been shy about using one neither.
Amen. Uncle Hal taken me out to a nearby hillside and taught me to shoot. He told me to take the pistol home and hide it real good. He said not to get it out lest Daddy was trying to kill Mommy or one of us kids.
You see, even Daddy's own blood brother knowed what he was capable of.
I hid the gun under my mattress and didn't tell nobody but my sister, Lori. I made her promise not to tell nobody, but it scared her through and through. Lori said,
What if Daddy finds out?
her eyes got big as saucers.
If he finds out, it'll be too late. Seeing this gun will be the last thing he ever sees.
Me and Mommy, we worked real hard to take care of the family. I was always by her side, in the woods and in the field.
I was always looking for ways to make some money.
Some people say I was a money-loving fool. I don't love money. I just know you gotta have it to survive.
I remember the first time I had any money to call my own. It was when I was 5-year-old. And I remember it just like it was yesterday.
We didn't have no water at home, so I grabbed 2 large buckets and filled out our landlord's spring. On the way there, I had to pass this place where some men was using dynamite to crush up stone for a road they was building. I know what it meant when they yelled.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
I'm running hide behind the spring house, so I wouldn't get hit by the rocks flying everywhere when them blasts went off.
Well, one day, one of them workers seen me coming by with my large cans full of water. He was real hot and sweaty, and he'd asked me if I'd give him a drink. Well, I held out my bucket, and he'd taken several long drinks.
Much obliged, honey.
Then, he reached in his pocket and handed me something. It was the prettiest thing I ever seen. It was a bright, shiny coin with a picture of a woman on it. It looked like she had wings coming out of her ears.
I didn't even say thank you. I was so surprised. I went home to Mommy and I said, I got me a new penny. And she told me it was a dime, worth 10 pennies.
That was hard for me to take in.
Oh, in my memory, that shiny dime is one of the most beautifulest things I ever saw.
That man that gave it to me, I remember him very well too. He made me realize that there are some good people in this world.
And some of them are even men.
Well, money was scarce. And me and Mommy, we worked almost every day.
As far as I know, Daddy never brought home a red cent.
Well, I wasn't afraid of hard work. When I was 12-year-old, I was skinny as a rail, didn't weigh 80 pounds, soaking wet. By that time, I could till a hillside field, cut new ground with 2 mules and a turning plow.
Now, I ain't bragging, but that's not easy for a grown-up man to do.
I was still just a kid when I convinced Mommy me and her we needed to build us a house. It was just too darn crowded in that little shack we rented from my brother-in-law, Boyd Sneed. His family had a good bit of property because they bought up distressed land when it was real cheap.
Well, I got to think, maybe Boyd would sell us a piece of that land and we could pay it off by working for him in the fields like we done to pay our rent.
Mommy was shocked out of her gourd. I wouldn't even consider taking on something like that.
You know we can't do that, Fireball. We ain't got no money or nothing to build it with.
There's trees all around us. And besides, there's a sawmill across the road. Maybe they'll give us some slabs left over when they trim the logs. Mommy just shook her head and said,
Fireball, I don't know where you get them ideas from. But I believe you. If you think we can do it, then we can.
Now, I don't want to brag on myself. I had a sharp mind. And when it come to building things, I could figure out how stuff was put together. And I didn't give up easy neither.
Well, Boyd agreed to sell us that plot of land, and I went over to the Jennings Wilson sawmill across the road. And he told us he would give us them slabs left over. They was gonna burn them anyway, he told me.
To begin with, we had to walk up next to where the sawyer was working to get them slabs, but after a few days, I was surprised when they started stacking them next to the side of the road, where we could get them easy.
Some more good men. The first thing we had to do was go over to the woods across the road and cut down 4 corner posts and drag them over to where we was building the house.
It weren't easy, but we done it.
Sure did.
We had to drive in pegs to hold them posts upright. And then we started to framing it in, first boxing in a sturdy floor and ceiling.
And then we started nailing on the slabs for the outside walls.
Them men from the sawmill sure seemed to like us. And me and Mommy noticed they kept watching us.
Maybe they respected us for working so hard.
Maybe.
Better be.
And then when we wanted to start on the inside walls, we had to figure out where we was gonna get some wood.
And it was just like magic. The foreman from the sawmill come over and told us he was going to save any missawed wood for us. The thrill that run through me, I tell you, was like electricity.
And he done what he said. That wood started piling up next to the side of the road so fast, I decided they was miscutting on purpose.
It weren't long before we finished our house.
It didn't have but 2 rooming. That ain't much with 8 kids still at home.
But we got us an old school bus and parked it in the yard for extra sleeping space when the weather permitted.
We built us an outside toilet and we got our water from the creek. Later, we dug us a well to draw our water from.
It'd be a few more years before we could wire the house for electricity, but by the standards we was used to, it was just fine.
Ain't that the truth?
It is.
By this time, I was growing up and out. Oh, my sisters teased me. They'd snicker and say,
Hazel's getting titties.
Them boys sure gonna be coming around soon.
I know just enough to understand why they'd say that.
Ugh. One day, I rode the mule out to work for this fella named Otis. And when he was helping me down off the mule, he rubbed up on my little boots. Son of a bitch.
Well, I'd overheard just enough woman talk to know what that could lead to. If I didn't put a stop to it, I believed I'd get raped.
I had on my hard-toed, hard-soled brogans. And I hauled off and kicked him between the legs as hard as I could.
His eyes bugged out and he stopped breathing.
Otis, don't you die on me, you son of a bitch! Yeah, he's all bent over, gasping for breath. But he managed to get out that he was going to tell my mom what I done to him.
Well, I answered him quick. While you're at it, you might as well go and tell your wife what you tried to do to me. I advise you to shut up or I'll kick you again.
He started calming down and breathing regular again. I knowed I'd won that battle.
I hear he told some other men they didn't want to mess with Fireball.
Oh, I liked hearing that.
Me too.
I reckon I used that tactic on about 9 men.
Including one preacher.
And nary one of them was able to force themselves on me. In every case, those bastards let their guard down. Yeah.
They'd push me back, use one hand to pull my britches down. They'd use the other one to get their tallywhacker out. By this time, the guy was so excited, he forgot where he was.
That's when I made my move.
When my big old brogans hit those balls, it knocked them clean out the boot.
And to this day, you won't catch me wearing any little skimpy flats or flip-flops. Come on.
I expect you noticed I cussed.
Uh-huh.
Just a little bit.
Mommy didn't like it either.
Cousin was right up there with lying and stealing in her book.
She always said, don't never get yourself in a fix where you need to steal.
And don't never do nothing so bad you have to lie about it.
And I can honestly claim to this day, I've tried to follow her rules. Listen, I never stole nothing from nobody. And though I have had to get creative to keep from straight out lying, I have generally been honest.
But cousin was a losing battle for us.
Except for one thing. You ain't never gonna catch me using the Lord's name in vain.
No, ma'am.
Not that I'm all religious and all. But I do believe in prayer when it's needed. Many a time I prayed to the man upstairs that my daddy wouldn't kill my mama. And no matter how hard he beat her, she didn't die. So I figured God was due the credit.
Amen. One of the happiest days of my life was when Mommy divorced Daddy.
Oh, he'd been shacking up with a woman for years, but he decided for some reason he wanted to make it legal.
Back in them days.
Daddy couldn't get the divorce himself.
Yeah.
That's right, because there was no such
Because
thing.
Mommy hadn't done nothing that was grounds
There's
for it.
no fault divorce. There's no such thing. She had plenty of grounds. I think she's just glad to get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, we'd all hoped that would take him out of our lives for good.
But he just had to come around one more time. Only this time, I was ready for it.
I was standing on the front porch when he got out of his truck and hollered up at me.
Where's your mama at?
You sawed-off son of a bitch. You bother my mama one more time and I'll kick the shit out of you.
You ain't gonna do nothing. You're too stupid.
I ain't stupid enough to beat up on a woman and a bunch of kids.
You better go get him.
His teeth was clenched. And I stood there stock still and said, I weren't doing nothing.
You stopped, snared some more, then got back in his truck. He didn't want to tangle with me.
You tell your mama I'll be back.
I didn't say nothing. I just throwed up my middle finger in his direction and walked real slow back to the house.
I never seen him again. But I did go to his funeral to make sure they put the right bastard in that box.
That was a good day.
That was a great day.
Well, a lot of things changed after Mommy divorced Daddy.
For me, the most important thing was I got to go to school. Daddy wouldn't let us. Said girls didn't need no education to diaper babies and feed hogs.
He wouldn't let the boys go neither. I was 14 when I started first grade. I could already read and write some. Uncle Hal had taught me the ABCs.
And I teach myself how to spell words using the Sears pictures in the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
We sure did.
My first grade teacher was Ms. Mary C. She was a real sweet lady. She always told me I was going to be a real smart lady when I grew up. I hope I proved her right. She sure did teach me a lot.
Well, I always said I were never going to get married, but I did.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
When I was 15, I got married, and that brought on a whole new phase to my life.
Had to quit school. I never, even though I only finished the first grade, I never give up on learning. Fact is, there ain't a day goes by I don't learn something new. And I hope that don't never change.
Well, my first husband was my first cousin, Herschel Ricker. Folks called him Hut. He was a big old good-looking fella. He had dark hair and skin. That come from the Cherokee on the Lamb side of the family.
Here's a picture of him, me, on our wedding day. A lot of you probably think it's unusual for a girl to get married at the age of 15, but when I come along, it weren't strange at all.
Why, there was a lot of girls getting married at 12 or 13. Fact is, in poor families like mine, it's kind of expected you to marry and move out early.
Hut was 20-year-old and had a good, steady job cutting timber. We moved in with his dad. He was my uncle, but for some reason, I called him Poppy.
His wife died in childbirth, and he never remarried. I loved Poppy, and he loved me. I think he seen what a hard worker I was, and I tried hard to be a help to him.
Of course, it weren't no time before I got pregnant. But I kept my own fields till I couldn't hardly hook the galluses on my overalls no more. When I went into labor, we sent for Grandma Lang. She come real quick and delivered us our baby girl.
We named her Polly Jean.
Polly Jean was the prettiest little baby you've ever seen.
And she was so sweet. I don't think I was ever happier in my life. She weren't even a year old when she come down with meningitis.
I didn't know what was happening. She'd been such a happy baby, and all of a sudden, all the smiles stopped.
She just didn't look right. She lost her spark.
I tried to get her to nurse, but she wouldn't take the needle. And she started vomiting. Her arms and legs started jerking.
I asked Poppy what I should do. He said I ought to put her in the car and take her over to Mom's.
So I laid Polly Jean on the seat beside me, and I headed out to Mommy's house.
Please, dear God,
I was praying real hard.
please let my baby be okay. Don't let nothing be wrong with her.
Got to Mommy's house. She's on the front porch. She come running out to the car. She asked, something wrong?
It's Polly Jean. She don't look right.
Mommy taking one look at Polly Jean and said,
We gotta get this baby to Dr. Ellison.
jumped in the car and picked up Polly Jean. The look on Mommy's face made me even scared. I drove to the doctor's office fast as I could, praying as hard as I could.
And we got to the doctor's office. I'd taken Polly Jean from Mommy, and I ran in the office as fast as I could.
I run right past all them people in the waiting room, leaving Mommy behind, and I didn't stop till I found the doctor.
What's wrong with her?
He pointed at the examining table, and before I could even lay her down, he just shook his head.
That baby's got meningitis. Ain't nothing I can do for her. She'll be dead in 15 minutes.
He just shook his head and laughed like he wasn't even bothered.
Pastor.
I was dazed, alone, and confused.
He got Polly Jean off the table, and I held her close to my breast. When I headed back into the waiting room, Mommy could see us all tore up. So she'd taken Polly Jean from me, and we headed out to the car.
Mommy didn't say nothing. But I could tell she knew. Just by looking at Polly Jean, looking at me.
By the time we got home, Polly Jean was gone.
I don't really remember what happened the next day or so. Hut was beside me. Oh, his eyes were red from crying. Especially when we went to go see Polly Jean. In her little pine box.
Grandma Lamb had prepared many a baby for burial. She had her in this pretty pink dress.
She looked just like a doll.
We buried her at Walnut Grove Cemetery between Decatur and Ennis.
It was the saddest day of my life.
Well, for a while, I didn't think I wanted no more babies.
Wasn't long before I got pregnant again.
Me and Hud, we thought it'd ease our sadness some.
Oh, me and Hud got on all right for a while. As things rocked along, we started to sour on each other.
Yeah. Turned out, Hut and his buddy, they like to drink moonshine. They go to honky tonk. Well, there, I was quick to learn that they
Pick up trashy women.
They did.
One night,
Like a joke.
I let them borrow my little blue convertible.
That I had bought and paid for myself.
I was sound asleep in the middle of the night. Woke up to the sound of a car pulling up in the yard. So I got up and I went to the window, and I could barely make out Hut and his buddy.
Hey,
And it looked like there's two women in the car too.
and they was all drunk and hollering and laughing.
Well, I didn't do nothing. But go get my rifle and went to the front door. I heard all shouting over their heads.
Well, I didn't want to hit my car and mess it up.
I went back inside and bolted the front door. Hunt weren't gonna sleep at my house that night. They could sleep with the whores. Or they could sleep on the ground. I didn't really give a shit.
But a few days later, I let Hut back in the house.
Ugh.
I know.
Oh, shut up, Hazel. You ain't going nowhere.
I was fired.
You just watch me. You know what side your bread is buttered on. You. Then you're gonna keep your distance from me. I have this baby. And then, look at me. And then, I'll keep mine.
I figured I was gonna have a big baby. My belly got fatter and fatter. I had an easy time birthing Polly Jean, and I figured this would be easy too.
I was wrong about that.
Grandma Lamb come over when I went into labor. We waited all day. Nothing happened. And on the afternoon of the second day, that baby still ain't come yet. So she had taken up my gown and taken a look.
Oh, Lord, Hazel, honey. That baby's feet are coming out first. I'm gonna have to try and turn it around.
So she put her hands on my belly. And she tried, started turning it. She tried to turn it, but there were no room.
On the third day, I passed out.
Mom had come over by that time. She said I needed to get to a hospital in Cleveland. And the doctor there cut me open to get the baby out.
When I woke up, they showed me this big old youngin' and told me it was my baby.
That can't be my baby. My baby's a pretty little girl like Polly Jean.
Come here, come on. Now, okay. So, your first baby was a girl. This baby is a 10-pound baby boy. It's okay.
They had him in this little old pink girl dress that was just way too small for him.
Oh my God. It looked like 5 of them 10 pounds was around his neck. I've never seen such a fat baby in all my life.
That ain't my baby. They're trying to give me one that somebody else don't want.
It took a lot of explaining
And the drugs wearing off.
for them to get me to believe that baby was really mine. And that I could love that fat little boy as much as I loved Polly Jean.
We named him, when we left the hospital 10 days later, let me tell you that, it took a long time. I was so proud of him. We named him Dallas Marshall Baker. And I enjoyed being a mama again.
He was a good baby.
He was a good baby. He was a good baby.
Well, I went to Mommy's to stay, at least till I was recovered, didn't I?
We sure did.
I never intended to live with Hut again. So I decided to go ask Poppy if I could stay there again. He said he'd be glad to have me.
And he'd make sure Hunt didn't bother me none.
Poppy was a real gentleman.
You got it somewhere.
Shortly after that, I divorced Hut. He moved to Ohio looking for work and got married again.
I sure hope he was a better husband to his second wife.
Well, many years later, when Hut died, they brought him back to Decatur to be buried. He wanted to be put alongside Polly Jean. I have to admit I cried a little when I found out.
I went to Hut's funeral, and even though I hadn't seen him in I don't know how many years, I was just a little sad. I mean, except for my daddy, one of my husbands. I ain't never been glad to see nobody die.
after I divorced Hut, my responsibilities was multiplied. I basically had to take care of me and Dallas by myself. I worked all kinds of jobs, but mainly for Mr. Watson, who owned a grocery store in Decatur.
I liked that job. I'd go out in the fields and collect produce, and then he'd sell it in his store. And since I had a car, he'd send me on lots of errands.
Mr. Watson liked me. I think he appreciated how hard I worked.
Of course he did.
One day he come up to me and said, "Little Fireball, there's something happening in Oak Ridge, and I think you ought to be a part of it. I can get you a job washing dishes in the restaurant up there."
He's talking about that place up the road about 70 Mile where the government was building the bomb. Lots of people in our area got good paying jobs there. Mr. Watson drove the bus there and back every day. Later, you know what I learned? I learned that Oak Ridge was called the Secret City.
It weren't even on the map, even though 70,000 people worked there. People had to sign a paper saying they wouldn't tell nobody nothing about what was going on, even to their families.
I told him, I don't think Mommy's gonna want to go up there. He said, well, your mama can stay here, and I'll give you a ride on the bus for free.
Well, I had never turned down no kind of work, and I figured washing dishes would be easier than plowing fields and cutting cordwood, so that'd be it'd be easy, pay better, be steady. So I left Dallas with Mom, and I caught Mr. Watson's bus to Oak Ridge. Started washing dishes at the Oak Terrace restaurant. Well, after about a week, the owner, Mr. Roscoe Stevens, come up to me. He said I ought not to be washing dishes. I should be a waitress. I said, I'm just a sawmill girl from the country. I might spill coffee on some Scofer's head.
I didn't tell him that before I come to Oak Ridge, I never even eat in no restaurant.
Well, Mr. Stevens wouldn't take no for an answer, and that's all it took for me to give it a try. And I found out I liked it. And people liked me,
Oh,
too.
so did. I didn't have to ride the bus long for my boss pulled some strings, got me a room in the Oak Ridge Girls Dormitory. I was excited about that because it saved me that long bus ride from Decatur. So Mommy kept Dallas during the week. Every weekend I'd come home to help him out, take him places. I bought me a more dependable car, so I didn't have to ride the bus no more. I could give Mommy money now. I was pleased about that.
And I met a lot of nice ladies in the dorm. There weren't no men in the dormitory. But they's everywhere else. Us women about had to have a police escort just to get from one place to another.
Of course, I weren't looking for no boyfriend, but there was this one man coming in the restaurant all the time and flirted with me. His name was Amos Gibbs. He drove a bus for the government.
And he was a real looker.
He was.
Red hair and blue eyes. He kept after me to go out with him, but I weren't interested. We did become friends, though.
He had 4 kids who was living with his mama in Ringgold, Georgia. His wife had died birthing their 4th child. One weekend, he asked me if I wanted to visit them with him. Well, I hadn't seen nowhere but Decatur and Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and I thought it'd be nice to see someplace different. When we got there, we found his mama out on the front porch with Amos's kids.
She's real nice. But I could tell right off, she wasn't well. Not well at all. I figured out right away, there ain't no way she could take care of them 4 kids. No.
Well, after we made several trips up to Ringgold, I was alone with Mrs. Gibbs one day. She come right out and asked me, wouldn't I marry Amos?
I just about dropped my teeth.
She said, Hazel, those young'uns needs a mama. And you know how well they have taken to you and how good y'all get along, you know. My health ain't good, Hazel. And I'm getting more bedridden every day. I said I sure couldn't see that those young'uns needed
So, on the way back home, I decided I was gonna have to marry him.
Even though he were 17 years older than me.
Yeah, and I didn't love him.
He told me several times he wanted to marry me.
But he was dead set against us taking those kids.
Well, that weren't gonna cut it with me.
Well, he come around,
Took him long enough.
decided he'd take the kids, so I agreed to marry him. But I know, deep down, I was really marrying them children and not him.
Well, no shit.
Yeah, well, we got married at the courthouse in Ringo because they didn't have no 3-day waiting period like they done in Oak Ridge. Amos was renting a little house on Taylor Road in the Marlow community that was near Oak Ridge, so I moved out of the dormitory and in with Amos. Weren't long before I got pregnant.
On July 19th, 1952, I gave birth to a beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde-headed angel. I named him Cecil Farrell Gibbs.
Oh, she's feral deals.
But we called him Butch. Because we left him with the babysitter once and Lee forgot to tell her his name. She called him Butch, so we did too.
What you gonna do? Few years later, in 1955, there was a sweet little girl in our family. We named her Naomi.
I will never forget buckling her up in a pretty pink blanket and bringing her home from the Oak Ridge Hospital through 6 inches of snow. That was a lot for her, really. Butch was 3-year-old and was a little spoiled, I guess. He liked being the baby and he didn't take too kind to this new sister. I'd be nursing her and he'd come up right beside me and start sucking his finger. One day he was pressing up against Naomi, and I told him he was going to hurt her if he weren't careful. He said,
I'm gonna throw that baby in the yard. Butch, don't you like your baby sister?
do you wish it was a boy?
A boy'd have been better than a darn girl.
That give you an idea. I made up a little song I'd sing to Butch. I think it made him feel kind of special, having a song to take his side of things. After a while, I sang it to Naomi. It went like this.
Oh, no, I don't need
Oh,
to sing
come
no
on,
song.
song
Oh,
girl.
All you, Miss Lindsay.
It's all,
All you.
you sure?
Your people are waiting.
You better want me to sing this song.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Through a nursery creeping, a little boy came peeping, gaily peeping through a golden curve. And a little bundle, such a funny bundle, it was a tiny baby girl. She came to town that morning as the day was dawning. Mother thought he'd fill his heart with joy, but he shook his little head and to his mother said, "Gee, I wish that you had bought a boy. Can't we take it back and change it for another? I don't want no baby sister, don't you see? I just want a little baby brother to play a game of ball with me. It's no fun to play with dolls and such things. A little girl could never fix a toy. I'll tell you what to do. If it's all the same with you, we'll take it back and change it for a boy. Ain't it awfully funny? Did it cost a lot of money? Won't it be an awful lot of care? It's not a good one, mother. You'll have to find another. Or can't you see it hasn't any hair? Do its teeth come with it? Will its nose grow, will it? Won't it be an awful lot of care? I'll tell you what to do. If it's all the same to you, we'll take it back and change it for a boy.
Still got it. Well, as things rocked along, I didn't get no more happy in my marriage. Amos made good money driving the bus, and I still worked at the restaurant. For some women, that was all you could hope for. Not for me. I always had an hankering to try something new, like me going into the restaurant business. I was always pretty good at catching on to things. By waiting tables, I learned the ins and outs of the restaurant business, so I bought me a little piece of land and got busy, laying the foundation for Hazel's Grill. Somebody asked Dallas why I called it Hazel's Grill, and he said,
Cause Mama can't spell restaurant.
some people didn't think I'd make a go of it owning my own restaurant. They said Oak Ridge was sophisticated, wouldn't eat no country cooking like what I do. By that time, I raised a whole lot of hogs, and I told them if people didn't like it, I'd just bring it home for the hogs.
I know they need it.
They sure would.
But that naysayers was wrong. I may have been as country as turnip greens myself, not classy like my customers. But they couldn't get enough of my fresh eggs and homemade biscuits and sausage gravy. The pork and beef we raised was also popular. I also growed a whole bunch of fresh vegetables and had a whole field of strawberries I used for pies.
Everybody loved my food.
Of course, Amos weren't no help though. He'd come sit in the restaurant and make sure none of them men was flirting. One time he threatened to shoot one of them. I told him, you go right ahead. Then they'll come and arrest your ass and I won't have to deal with you running off my customers.
Oh, Amos and me was both real fiery. His family was Irish and I was part Cherokee, so I guess it's no wonder we fought all the time. Well, I never did love him, so finally, in 1963, I divorced Amos. But I did wait until my last stepchild had left home.
I was married to him longer than any of my other husbands.
Amos always claimed I left him for a grease. Elmer Severs was a mechanic at the local wool station. And it's true, I did get with Elmer before I divorced Amos. But I had decided long before I met Elmer that I was gonna leave Amos. I told him every time I turned around, he was accusing me of cheating. So I figured I'd better go and do it to keep you from going to hell for life.
When me and Elmer decided to get married, I sold the restaurant. We moved to Columbus, Georgia. Hardest part of moving to Georgia was I had to leave Naomi in Oak Ridge with Amos. Me and him, we had figured out a joint custody plan for him and Butch. Well, I told Amos he could keep living in the house, which I built and which I owned, to keep taking care of Naomi. My sister Gerald didn't live nearby. I know she'd keep a good eye on him.
Plus, Naomi loved her daddy. I told her one time, only you and God could love that man. And I'm not so sure about God.
I have to say, he always taken good care of me.
Well, I taken Dallas to Columbus with me. Butch went back and summers with me. It always near broke my heart when you had to go back to Oak Ridge when school started. You know, she wrote me a letter once saying how much she missed me, how she cried for me every night. Well, that just about broke my heart, but I felt like I was doing what I had to do.
And Elmer, he's good to me and my youngins. Once, he took us on a trip to Florida. And we stayed in a motel. Something I ain't never did before. Oh, and I saw oranges growing on trees. And that ocean, it about taking my breath away.
Things wasn't always good with Elmer, though. I can't even remember what we'd fight about.
But fight we did. He had a heart attack. And Naomi, she liked him a lot. She's afraid I was going to give him another one.
I can't remember exactly why we split up. I know it was my idea, though.
He must have got shitty with me about something. I don't remember what. But I always told all my husbands I did not give no second chances.
No, ma'am.
So my next husband was named Grady Truitt.
Who?
Well, he come and went pretty fast. There's not much to tell about him.
A few years ago, I asked Naomi, I asked her to make a list of all my husbands. Because some of them just kept slipping my mind.
Well, my next husband was my fifth husband. I met him at a jubilee. His name was Bill Williams, and he was an Army lieutenant colonel. He was real tall and well-built and looked real handsome in his uniform. Well, he lived all over the world and was more well-educated than any of the other guys I went out with.
I was surprised he'd taken such a shine to a country girl. But he was crazy about me. He wrote me love letters all the time.
He did.
And I guess I just couldn't resist. So,
I
I agreed to
agreed to
marry him.
Now, I didn't know nothing about that military life, and it didn't take me long to figure out I weren't cut out to be no officer's wife. I didn't like them highfalutin parties we had to go to, and I didn't like them snobby officers' wives neither. I couldn't stomach their champagne and them little sandwiches they love to make. I'd often hear people say they had a bite for lunch or a bite for supper. Well, for the first time in my life, I think I know what they was really talking about.
Well, what I really wanted to do was get me a job. I was bored silly. But the colonel didn't want me to work. I'd never had to ask nobody for money before. That didn't set well with me. I reckon he thought because he was an officer and he paid all the bills, he could boss me around.
I said to him, being a military colonel don't make you God. You ain't my owner, and I don't have to jump every time you wiggle your finger.
Uh-huh.
Now I know things couldn't go on as they was. So I told Bill that
You want to move back to where we grew up?
move back.
Well, he was retired.
I talked him into that.
Yeah, that was all.
I told him to be retired. That'd be a good idea if he come around. So then, yeah, I was real happy to move back because I miss Mommy in Meigs County. It was good to move back to where I grew up.
Well, I always kept my own place when I got married. But me and Bill, we got ourselves a little brick house. He got on with Meigs County as a deputy sheriff. But being out of the military didn't mean he stopped giving orders. I know that this arrangement wasn't going to last.
Weren't long before I got interested in another man indicator named Bill Wilkinson.
Another Bill.
So
and you want to divorce him? You know you ain't gonna find another man gonna do all that.
I said, well, I reckon I won't, but I still want a divorce. He may be handy as a pocket on a shirt, but it torques my jaw when he tries to make me ladylike.
Well, I divorced one Bill that morning and married another